Good morning. My name is Gwen Peterson. I'm the Manager of Recreation Services for St. Paul Parks and Recreation, and thank you all for coming out this morning. I am so excited about this day. Just a few housekeeping notes. After this event, we're going to be going out the door and to the right to the canteen for the photo and ribbon cutting ceremony for the lab. So just so you know, we'll be moving forward and out to the right after this is over. I just want to say how excited and happy I am for this day. We have, those of us who have been working diligently on this behind the scenes have been working for a number of years now, and so today is no ordinary day for us, and hopefully it will not be an ordinary day for you and those who take part in the lab going forward. We're so happy that it's here. It's been a long time coming to open this lab. We have conducted a community survey over the past week or so. We wanted the community to be involved in naming these labs that we're going to open, these series of labs we're going to open, and the lab today. And so we put some choices out to the community to see what their feedback would be and their interest in naming these labs. And so the lab we open today and the labs that we will subsequently open after today will be called Rec Tech Labs. Yes. And along with the lab that will open today, there will be 5 other labs opening in the rec centers in St. Paul. There will be an additional lab opening later today at around 3:30 at El Rio Recreation Center on the west side. And later this year, we'll be also opening labs at Hazel Park Recreation Center, Dayton's Buff Recreation Center, Rice Teen Zone, and Oxford Community Center. And we are so excited about each and every one of those, and we'll hope that you'll support the communities as we make these available. So at this time, I have the distinct honor, and this is the first time I've done this, so I'm hoping to do this correctly, of introducing to you and asking the mayor of St. Paul, Melvin Carter, Jr. The third. See, I got it wrong. And I've known him all my life. Melvin Carter the third, to come up and speak before you. Melvin, please, thank you.
Good morning. I am so happy to be here. This is a building and a space that is very special to me. I grew up coming and taking the bus to the King Center after school. In Club Room C with Mildred, who ran the after school program here for forever. I don't know how long. I grew up running track in this space on the sidewalk. So I went to college on a track and field scholarship, and I grew up running track. I learned to love the sport running laps around this building on the sidewalks. I actually met my wife in this room, which explains the next thing I'm going to say. I actually proposed in this room, which wouldn't make sense if you didn't know that we actually met in this room. So I've been used to Hallie Q. Brown and the Martin Luther King Center being a creative, innovative space where we as a community come together to meet families' needs, and too often when we think about public service, we sort of segment families. In some places they're a client, and in some places they're the student, and in some places they're different roles. But we don't have enough spaces like this space where families come for incredible after-school programming, families come for music lessons, families come to see an incredible show at Penumbra Theater. And if you've never been to Penumbra Theater, you make sure you come back and see the incredible resource that we have, the national resource that we have right in this space, right here. We have some of everything that happens in this space. I'm excited, though, to be able to add Rec Tech to that list. We know that our young people have to have access to technology. There was a day when we talked about technology jobs. That's kind of a repetitive statement now, because every job is a technology job. If you want to plow snow, you'll be controlling the plows with a computer. If you want to do anything these days, you're going to be using some type of technology. So ensuring that families and our seniors and our workers have access to technology is a must for our community. So to be able to partner, and one of the keys of our administration is partnership, because we believe we can do a whole lot more working together than we can working separately. And I'm proud of this partnership between our city's Office of Technology and Communications. I'm proud of this partnership with our city's Human Rights and Equal Economic Opportunity Office Department, which our interim director, Jeff Martin, is here today. Thank you. I'm proud of this partnership with our Parks and Rec Department. Our Parks and Rec Director, Mike Hom, is here. It's good to see you here. Mike had me golfing at Highland in the cold this morning, so I'm trying to get my fingers thawed out. But we wouldn't be able to do this without the partnership with Osiris. And Bill Roddy is here from Osiris as well. And I just want to say publicly thank you for making this space available to our families and to our young people. These computers ain't gonna be there for computer games. These are places where our young people will be able to do their homework. Where our young people will be able to learn about technology, will be able to learn coding, where our families will be able to come and put together a resume and search and apply for jobs in our community, where entrepreneurs in this community will be able to come and put together their business plan, and where we'll be able to literally launch our future from this space. We spend a lot of time right now thinking about St. Paul as an innovation hub, and that's one of the core values of my administration, innovation. And we're excited about the 30 companies who are in St. Paul right now, preparing their tech companies for exit. We're with a program called TechStars. We're excited right now about the, I think, 65 different companies who are preparing to participate in our first ever $1 million business plan pitch contest for businesses owned by people of color that we'll have next month. We're excited about all of those things, and we know that to sustain that momentum, we have to be getting our workforce ready. We have to know right now that we're preparing the young people who are playing out on these fields and playing in these gyms today to be the innovators. To be the workers, to be the inventors, and to be the technologists of our future. Rec Tech gives us one more tool in that toolbox, one more critical tool in that toolbox, and having it here, having it at HaliQ, having it at the Martin Luther King Center, where families are coming to the food shelf and families are coming to the gym and families are coming to basketball games. It makes total sense to put it in this space right here where our families already are so used to coming and being. So thank you all. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you to all of you who are here. And please, the one thing that I'd ask of everybody in this space is spread the word. We can't allow this space to sit empty. We have to spread the word so that people know that this resource exists here, so that people know that it belongs to them. And it's here for all of us to really be able to take advantage of. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I mentioned partnerships, and and Mark Sung is here as well, who works as our liaison to TechStars and with Full Stack and all of those things. So thank you so much for your work as well, Mark. Would you give him a round of applause, because he does a lot of work. I mentioned partnerships, and I'll tell you, as a mayor, one of the first things you learn is you can't do anything without the city council. And I have been really pleased and fortunate to walk in to a city council who I can work with, a city council who shares a big vision for the future of our city with us. I know you'll be introduced to another elected official, our Ramsey County Commissioner, Tony Carter, who I've also worked in close partnership for a really long time. Ever since she birthed me. And I should say partnership. But before that, I want to introduce somebody who's been a colleague and a friend and somebody who we've worked very closely together with, who represents this community that I grew up in and that I live in, my city council member, Councilmember Daitao.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. Before I continue, I want to acknowledge that we have Harold from Congresswoman Betty McCollum's office. She's here. Thank you. Thank you for... So this day is we're opening another chapter in the city of St. Paul in Ward 1, but it didn't get here without the support of the mayor, the county, our Gwen Peterson, her incredible work in partnership with Osiris. I want to thank Director Ham. I want to thank Interim Director Jeff Martin and the leadership at the Hallie Q. Brown. Now, today's an important day because I think most of you know that my background is IT. I've been doing IT for the last 20 years as IT director and IT manager. And I see the difference that IT and technology can make a difference, whether you're 80-year-old or you're 8-year-old in the city of St. Paul. I've seen that. Now, I'm just glad that the computer lab that we have and will be opening is not Windows 95. Remember, right? The old days, right? It takes you gotta upgrade with floppy disk, and there's like 13 of them, you know. So I started out my career like that, and working at Education Minnesota, and I seen that, you know, we were living in the public housing and in the project, and technology, my technology job allowed me to get a salary, a wage that was enable me to afford a house that I could move into it and move my mom out of the public housing. And my story is not unique because I was just listening to Cortez's story a little bit and how he started out as a participant in the program at age 14. And now, Cortez, you're the IT director, is that correct? Let's give him a round of applause, right? Yeah. So these success stories they're there and they happen every day. And now what this lab does and through all the partnership is that it's going to enable folks from our community to leverage poverty, to leverage education, to give them access to information and knowledge that we're not shared. And some of these knowledge are systematically kept away from some of the folks in our community, and we call that the digital divide. And we're building this bridge, and this is long overdue, so I'm really excited about the work that we will be doing here. For the last year, I've seen that the mayor's office and the department very intentional about engaging the community, intentional about learning about the needs, not telling them what we think they need, but listening to them and creating programming that works for them and that will engage the community and will help this city become a stronger city, a better city that works for all of us. And I believe that, and that technology is gonna lead us there, it's gonna help us there. Now I want to keep in mind that as we go forward, we have to continue to care for this technology because a lot of time, I remember one of the first lab we got was we got a donation from this Fortune 500 company, and they gave us the software, the hardware, and then that was it. They didn't want to hear from us anymore. And so it took us a lot of grant making or trying to go out there and to find the money the resources to support the lab. And so I think that one of the things that we need to continue to do is take care of this lab, make sure that it works for all of us 5-10 years from now. And technology is going to evolve. But that's great because as residents of this community, we also need to upgrade ourselves, right? And technology is going to do that for us. I know that as we educate our workforce, as we become advanced in our city, more corporations will want to come and work with us. And this is a growing city, and I think the mayor's and his leadership, I think the leadership of all the departments, Osiris, to prepare a workforce that's going to bring jobs and economic vitality to the city. So thank you so much. I want to introduce our next speaker, Commissioner Tony Carter, who is my county commissioner, who I've always had respect for. One of the things that when I got elected back in 2013, she reached out and said, if there's anything that I could do, help you out, let me know. And I went to visit her in her office, and there was more awards than you could ever see. And that's a testament of her leadership and her commitment to the city of St. Paul and to Ramsey County. So without further ado, County Commissioner Tony Carter.
You know, this really is a blessing just to be able to be here today, to see all of you and to share this grand moment with you as we are witnessing the opening of the Rec Tech Lab and Training Center for this building, for Hallie Q. Brown Martin Luther King Center, for our entire community. This is a momentous occasion. Are all of you as excited as I am to be here? You know, we have heard about the kinds of things that are going to go on. And this really is about helping people to stand on a platform and to build forward in their lives. And it's not just about one person coming here to do homework, to do job training, to explore services, to learn about technology, to become able to support technology. This is about a whole community raising itself up and standing forward and bringing families and bringing everyone forward. That's what this is really about. It's so important that it's happening here at Hallie Q. Brown, the lighthouse of the community, since 1929. You know, Hallie Q, thank you. Hallie Q has been about that business, helping people to settle, you know, moving people in from the South, from other areas of the country, from other areas of Minnesota, and even of St. Paul, helping people to gain access, you know, helping people to support themselves, helping people to move forward. Social services, cultural and recreational activities, activities that stand them forward to learn, to grow, to work, to interact together. And that's what the Rec Tech and Training Center will be about. You know, I have to tell you that I'm thrilled to be here for a few reasons. First of all, as Ramsey County Commissioner, I appreciate that this center does all of that work and has for so long. It's important that we all support it. We're connected here on a regular basis, specifically looking at how to help our communities be healthy. Health for seniors, health for early learning, health for all of us. You know, I've been connected here also as a parent. You heard our mayor, my son, say all that he was able to achieve, to participate in here. You know, I'm so thankful because really it was here, and there is an old brochure that memorializes this, that you all as a community were able to help me keep a kid on the right track. Did we do okay? Thank you. Thank you. And, okay, so some of y'all got it, right? Thank you. It is also here that, you know, I remember my years as a Hallie Q. Brown board member and as the chair of this board, as this organization, like so many others in our community, struggled to keep itself on the right track and to upright that foundation and to build forward so that we are able today to be that credible partner and that effective partner with our city, with all of you, with Osiris, and moving this new center forward. So thank you for keeping Hallie Q. Brown on the right track. We're in a space that we will recognize for many years forward as an important place to be. You are at a moment that you will celebrate many years from now as you see those who are able to succeed in our community coming forward out of the connections that they make at the Rec Tech Training Center. I am thankful for your having me here today. Really, that Dawn called me. Dawn Selly, where are you? Thank you. And said, will you? Thank you, Dawn. Because, you know, she's been a part of that team that has been working to make sure this happens. She doesn't want you to see her, but I'm thankful that you clapped for her, as well as the others that have been doing this work. But Don said, would you be the voice for Hallie Q. Brown today? And that just really made me feel good, because we've been through some times here at Hallie Q. Brown. We have been through those times so that we could arrive at this time. Thank you so much for helping us to do that. And now I would like to introduce to you, so that he can speak with us about not only his commitment, but about the work that he has been doing. Mr. Bill Roddy, who is the executive director of Osiris. Osiris has been connecting young people to careers for their lives and for their future through technology. You know, helping them through scholarships and helping them through internships, mentoring, connections to organizations and to work. And so Mr. Bill Roddy is here today from Osiris, the partner that is helping to move this new partnership, Rec Tech and Training Center, forward. Mr. Roddy.
Well, good morning. Good morning. I graduated from University of St. Thomas back in the 70s, and then I moved over to Minneapolis about 30 years. And I just moved back to St. Paul about a year ago. And I mean, honestly, this is like coming back home. This is home to me. I chose to attend the University of St. Thomas by seeing St. Paul, seeing the parks. From the west side of Chicago, I knew that this is where I wanted to spend my life at. And I had no idea the statement I was making back in those days. But being here with you and coming back to St. Paul, I know I made a good decision. I know I did. The United States Department of Bureau of Statistics of Labor said that 50% of all jobs now require some type of technology skill set. And then the next decade is going to go up to 77%. All jobs, all of them. That's on a national level. Now, close to home, Neil St. Anthony in the Star Tribune wrote an article on the tech industry in our own area, the Twin Cities in the state. And what startled me the most was that in the article he said, in April of last year, the last quarter of 2017, companies here in the Twin Cities in the state issued out over 15,000 job openings that required some type of technology skill base. And the sad thing about it, the sad thing about it, the article concluded is that some of these jobs are going to go unfilled. Unfilled. And it's not just because we don't have the talent. The talent just hasn't been trained. The talent just hasn't been trained. When Amazon decided not to have one of their headquarters here, they said because of lack of talent. I don't agree with that. I think it was a lack of trained talent. And these labs are going to be the platform to make something and to do something about that. We have the ability now to create our own Silicon Valley. Our instructor here at MLK, he can walk to work. He lives on Selby. Do you see what I'm saying here? Right. Okay. Yeah. This is what we're talking about, bringing technology right here in our own community. Because this is personal for me. I'm at home now. So a lot of you are going to see me a lot. I'm home. And this is what's so valuable to me. I'm at home. Because we know, I've experienced for 21 years how technology changes lives. It changes lives. This young man, Mr. Cortez Wilson, he was 14 years old when we met him. He knew absolutely nothing about technology. But he trusted us We had a relationship. He learned all about it. It helped him get through high school. It helped him get through college. We hired him to be one of our instructors at one of our computer labs. He was a mentor. He taught kids. He was an inspiration to them. Then he kept on us, then we had to hire him. He was our first tech support person. Then he kept learning, he kept growing. Then he became our director of technology. It's changing lives. It's changing lives. He's teaching his kids this. His kids are 13 years old. They know about invoicing, customer service, technology. Look at the legacy he's creating just because he made the commitment to get involved in technology. He's creating his own legacy that can last a lifetime. A lifetime. There's a lot of Cortezes in this area every day that you see that you know that now we got something to give them. You follow me? Now we got something to give him. Another young man but technology has changed his life. He was 15 when I met him. I was just about to finish up some classes. In the last 3 months of the class, I said, we're gonna do something different. They learn all about technology. So I had them create businesses, there's about 25 of them, put them in groups of 3 and 4. And they had to get up in the end of the class and present their business. This young man and his group, back in 2000, now I want you to follow me with these dates. In 2000, who here remembers when the first iPhone came out? 2007, right? July of 2007. July 2007. Follow me. Back in 2000, 7 years prior, this young man and his group got up in front of the class and presented their product. Guess what it was? An iPhone. 7 years before we even knew what an iPhone was. Boone Valeda, stand up, Boone. This is back in 2000. I didn't know what an iPhone was. And when they got up and presented their ideas, they said, yeah, Mr. Ryder, this is what phone's gonna look like 10 years from now. They saw it, I didn't. I still had a flipped up phone. No texting, none of that. But when you give young people this type of technology, look how creative they can be. We all know what Apple has done with the industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, has created millions and millions of millionaires. Apple's going to be probably the first company to approach $1 trillion. It's the most disruptive technology we have ever seen. But they came up with that 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Does it make sense to you? Do you know what we have in front of us right now? This is just, this is one lab. There's additional benefits that we're going to be seeing here. When we build this infrastructure, we're going to be creating jobs. The insight that Ms. Peterson had, she just said, Bill, I want these labs to have instructors. And I just said, okay, Gwen. I didn't ask any questions. Okay, Gwen. 6 labs, 6 instructors. These positions would not have existed without us building the infrastructure. So 6 people in this community are going to have jobs. They're going to have jobs. They're going to be mentors. They're going to be influencing people that come in that door. They're going to be in a very powerful position. Another benefit, we're going to need a tech support person to oversee the 6 labs, just 6 labs. That's a job. That's a job. Somebody's going to learn how to do tech support because Cortez is going to train them in. Okay? He's going to train them in. And over the years, over the 15 years, all of our part-time tech support people, all of them who have been with us for a year and a half, every last one of them have secured a full-time position because of the experience that they gained. Because I know, I got the calls, you know. So this is what we have. And this is just the beginning. We got 6 labs. Let's try to make it 12 or 14 or 15. Why not the whole city? And like I said, we can create our own Silicon Valley right here. So I want to thank you for your time. I get just a tad bit excited. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes being at home, I just can't help myself, you know. But I got Miss Peterson. She always knows how to get me back in line. So I want to thank you so much. And again, too, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I'm just absolutely pleasured to be living back in St. Paul. And this is home for me. And so I just can't wait to get this started. We have a lot more work to do. We're just starting. And so I'm very excited about that. So I want to thank you for your time. And I want to introduce the next speaker. And I apologize when I don't have any information, but it's Mr. Jeff Martin, right? So let me introduce you to Mr. Jeff Martin. Thank you.
Well, the beautiful thing about going last is that usually everyone has said every possible thing that has been done. I had all these 4 sheets of talking points. They've all been hit. But what we need to take away from here is the hope that something like this puts into the community. You have kids who will dream again. You have kids who will meet people in these classrooms and these tech hubs that will meet friends they will have for life and will do business together. Down the line, we all know it's who you know. Most of the time, it's who you know and what talent can you attach yourself to. Make lifelong friendships, lifelong visions, and we'll keep these talented folks in the city of St. Paul. We're trying to keep our talent from having to leave here to find employment. We're trying to keep our entrepreneurs to stay here. So this is just the beginning, and I think people have said that time and time again. I mean, we're blessed to have a very innovative mayor who wants to put his name on risky things. Believe it or not, people believe it is a risk to invest in low-income people. People think it's not a good return on the dollar to invest in people that don't look like them, that grew up on what they consider the other side of the tracks. But we know that's the only way we're going to get forward, if we bring everyone along with us, because those people who we think stay on the other side of the tracks, don't have anything to offer, have the cure to cancer, have the next iPhone, have the next thing that's going to develop our city to the next level. I hope it is the tech hub in my lifetime. I think it will be. I hope it is a place where a kid that goes to Obama can go all the way to run Microsoft. And it'd be a seamless thing. It won't be something that we're surprised about because you're putting in the steps that they can take to get there. I'm standing up here because I'm the interim director. I didn't have anything to do with this lovely vision that is going on. I wish I could take even a little bit of credit, but I can't. But I do want to point out the man who did. Dave Gorski is in the back there trying to look all suave fair. He should be actually up here talking to you guys about what's going on and how they got here. But what we have to realize is we have some tools in our city, and we're all one city. We had some money sitting around in Hero that we put to use, that we saw a partnership, Dave and some other very smart people saw that way to put that money to use, to go get some Microsoft licensing grants and to think down the line, to think with vision. And as long as we keep employing people like that and keep them to work, then we'll keep coming up with creative ideas like this. So I'm just proud to be a part of it. I'm not going to stand in the way of the ribbon cutting anymore. But I think this is just the beginning. We have to protect this lab, by the way, too, because not just protect it from those who don't want it to be successful. Protect it from those who who want the same old way to happen in St. Paul. So as they're fighting to prevent this change from coming, we have to fight even harder to make sure this change happens here and all around the city, and that it not be something that we even cut ribbons for anymore, that just happens all the time, that we're looking for advancing opportunity for everyone in our city. Thank you very much.
1, 2, 3. Right.